Again. Recording has started. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. So, like I was saying, every month we get together to speak about different topics, different either top. It's basically an information exchange on how to claim, how to reclaim, and how to maintain our natural state of balance and harmony, right? So, in order to be in a state of optimal wellness, there are certain factors that play a part. And in these educational talks that we have every month, we demonstrate the significance of uh, for example, one month could be on food, the other month can be on our hormones. This month is on inflammation, and today specifically, we're going to dive into a method known as the Wim Hof Method, which I will explain what it is and why it is so important. But essentially, we offer discussions of in order to help you maintain your optimal state of wellness, your optimal state of your natural state of balance and harmony. So that's what we do every month. So I welcome everybody, especially if it's your first time. Again, my apologies for the technical difficulties, but we're back and let's dive right in. Today, we're going to, like I said, we're going to talk about inflammation and what inflammation is, why it has such a negative connotation behind it, and how we can use various methods, in specifically today, the Wim Hof method, in order to set aside our natural inflammatory responses and learn to adapt to our environment. So let's start off with, what is inflammation? Inflammation is not good, it's not bad. Inflammation is. Inflammation is your natural body's response to external stimuli. Inflammation is your natural response to combating external factors, external pathogens, in form of bacteria, in form of viruses, in form of external stresses. That is what inflammation is. Okay, it is not good, it is not bad, it just is. It's our natural body's response to external stimuli. So that's the number one definition I want to make sure everyone understands. The reason why inflammation has a bad connotation behind it, we have this mindset that says inflammation, oh, bad, all right. It's because here we're dealing with inflammation, and that is chronic inflammation. When your body is producing an inflammatory response to an external stimuli, it's doing its natural response to something that it needs to protect you from, so that you don't get into a state of disease. Disease is two words, dis-ease. It's no longer a state of optimal health. It's no longer a state of wellness. When you are in a state of dis-ease, things are no longer functioning at ease. You are sick, essentially, right? You are no longer in your proper state of alignment. When that inflammatory response does not turn off, and it is constantly stimulated by these factors that your body does not recognize as suitable for the vehicle or the machine that we call the body, Well, now we get into a state of disease because inflammation should not be long term. Okay, we've heard of many different inflammatory diseases. We're not going to go into that specifically. I'm talking about all sorts of inflammation that no longer serve our optimal wellness. Okay, in that sense, in that understanding, chronic inflammation is the negative aspect of inflammation. Okay, and it is something that uh, we need to assess with regards to our vehicle, because we are not in a we're not in a state where we can adapt to our environment. Okay, so they say in certain schools of thoughts that inflammation is the number one cause of disease. I will take it a little bit step further and say that stress is the number one cause of disease, because stress is what causes our inflammatory response. Now, there's good stress, there's bad stress, right? We know this. Stress is a stress factor is an external stimuli to the body, right? When we are externally influenced, our body has an innate programming ability to adapt to that environmental stimulus. We are able to adapt to our surroundings beautifully. We have been doing this for millennia here, and we have recently lost or no longer tapped into that innate ability that we have, of naturally adapting. So methods that are out there teach us to come back, to tap into ourselves, to find the stillness within the stirring of the waters. And that's a visual that I use often. When our waters are stimulated too much, they send vibrational waves in our body, and those stresses can become a burden. Okay, by tapping into our bodies, by finding that stillness, by consciously pausing and looking internally, we know now that we have a beautiful capacity of diving into not only the deepest parts of our body and our minds, but contradicting what medical texts have been saying for many years. We now know that we have the ability to uh, essentially control our autonomic system. Our autonomic system is our automatic system. It's our body's automatic system. So, for example, our heartbeat. We don't control our heartbeat. Our breath. We constantly breathe. These are all autonomic systems that we have in our body. In previous medical texts, it was said that we had no control on of our autonomic system. Now, through methods similar to Wim Hof, Wim Hof has actually demonstrated time and time again through scientific and medical studies that we are actually able to influence our autonomic system. So now we have a how to adapt to our surroundings, how to adapt to these external stimuli. The reason why Wim Hof is so dear to me, it's because it has scientific evidence to back it up. Wim Hof has been studying uh, our ability to adapt to our surroundings for many years. In fact, there is more studies now being done on a thing called epigenetics. Epigenetics is our ability to turn on and off certain DNA markers based on our environment. Wim Hof method allows us to tap in deep within our bodies, learn to turn on and off these factors in order to adapt to our surroundings. And his method is very simple. It's got three main pillars to it. One is through the breath, two is through cold exposure, and three is through mind body connection. With uh, with these three pillars, we are uh, able to no longer be negatively stimulated by uh, uh, negative stresses, if that makes sense. Okay, so our stress response is reduced. In our stress response reduction, our inflammatory markers are also reduced. Our inflammatory response is reduced, and we can reclaim and then maintain our optimal state of wellness and health. Wim Hof is a man that has many different uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry. Um, he has I lost my word. I've lost my word for it. Sorry. He's climbed Mount Kilimanjaro in shorts. He's swam in the Arctic Circle in shorts. His ability to adapt to the cold is such that he is known as the Iceman or the Ice Shaman. He has been submerged for multiple hours at a time under ice, and his temperature has not lowered. He has been able to maintain his temperature um, at its normal state. One very important study that he did about 6 years ago was that he was injected with a notavirus uh, similar to E. coli, and they demonstrated that he had no symptoms after being injected with this uh, with this bacteria. They claimed that he was, the superhuman, and that he was a freak of nature, but he essentially showed uh, 16 other people the same method, and they were able to do the exact same thing. To Wim Hof himself is not superhuman. Everyone can do what he does. It's just a matter of finding that stillness, tapping in to the deepest parts of the body and the brain, and essentially uh, allowing your body to adapt appropriately to external stimuli. And the way he found this was via the cold. In the cold, what is our natural response? For example, if you jump into a cold shower, your natural response is to gasp for air. Okay, that gasp of air is essentially his breathing technique because it allows our body to become alkaline. It reduces the acidity within our body, and with acidity comes inflammation. When you reduce acidity, there is much less of an inflammatory response. You need acidity in order to have inflammation in the body. So he was able to use this breath in order to adapt to the cold and essentially not let the cold take over. He has an interesting line, a quote that he uses. The cold is merciless, but it's also righteous. And that's true. You know, if you can find your inner peace within the constant stimulus of intense cold, then you can essentially adapt correctly to all external stimuli. So many people don't know uh, um, the heat studies that he's done, but he also uh, ran a marathon in the desert, and throughout the whole marathon that he ran, he was not in need of any water because he was able to his body was able to produce enough hydration for him. So he's known as the Iceman, and he's known for cold exposure, but he also uses this in um, all aspects of external stresses. So essentially, he has demonstrated, he has taught other people to do this same technique. He teaches people this on a daily basis, um, and everybody has the exact same ability that he has. So essentially, if you have an external stimuli, such as a bacteria or a virus, and knowing that him and his certain followers were injected with E. coli and did not have any symptoms and did not have any inflammatory responses, then we can all do the exact same thing. Um, so that's essentially why I wanted to talk about inflammation, and specifically why the Wim Hof for me is of such importance. He actually did a study in November of last year, I believe, that using his breathing technique um, for COVID, and demonstrated that it was very effective for maintaining uh, your body's natural state um, of alkalinity. And uh, through this breathing technique, it helps you combat that external influence, and it can also help you uh, were you to be put in a situation uh, uh, where you have been diagnosed the um, with the virus. So look it up online. I'm not going to go into details on that very much. I want to go into directly into the breathing technique itself. The breathing technique is um, is a bit intense, but it is also an external stimuli. So you want to be stimulated by this breathing technique. Excuse me. And during the breathing technique, it is normal to feel tingly sensation. It is normal to get slightly lightheaded or tingly on the top of the head. it's sometimes normal to get muscle twitches. This breathing technique is an intense uh, oxygenation of your vascular system. Your vascular system, arteries, veins, capillaries, make up 3 times the circumference of the planet Earth. So you have that much highway that you influence through this breathing technique. And the way this breathing technique, what it works on is the vascular system. The vascular system is made up of, is just like working out a muscle. If you, excuse me, if you work out this muscle on a daily basis, the dilation and the constriction of your vessels, you can then influence your immune response to external stimuli. You can balance your hormone systems, and you can also increase what is known as neuroplasticity. So it works on all main systems of the body, what I call the PNEI, psychoneuroendoimmunology. And it is it's essentially it's very potent, it's very powerful, and it can bring about your um, adequate state of optimal wellness. Okay, so without going too much more into detail, and I'm sorry, I'm a little bit scattered today because of the technical issues. So my apologies for my scatteredness. But let me explain the breathing technique because we're going to do it together. The breathing technique is 30 to 35 breaths. We're going to do 35 breaths together. And the breathing itself is an intense inhale. So when you inhale fully in. When you exhale, you simply let it go. So you don't blow out. So let me demonstrate one breath for you. Fully in, exhale. So you're not completely blowing out your air. Okay? So that is one breath. We're going to do 35 breaths together. And then on the 35th breath, what happens is that you inhale, you exhale, you let it go, and you hold. You pause for as long as you can. And sometimes, that is 30 seconds. Sometimes that can be a few minutes long. I've done this technique where I can hold my breath with no air in my lungs for 4 minutes. Now, am I going to ask everybody to hold your breath for 4 minutes? Of course not. But I want us to do 3 rounds of this breath, 3 rounds of the 35 breaths and holding the breath together so that you can feel the full benefits of this technique. And essentially, when you do this technique, what I would like to invite everyone to do is tap into yourselves. Close your eyes and really tap into yourselves. Feel your body. Befriend your body. Okay, you're going to get certain feelings that might feel foreign. Okay, if it feels uncomfortable to you, then just stop. Okay, and start the breath back with us if you are inclined to do so in the next round that we do. Okay, but in the foreign sensations that you're going to experience, I don't want that to be a hindrance to you experiencing this technique. Okay, so that's my invitation to everybody. We're going to do it together. We're going to do the 35 breaths. We're going to hold the 35th breath, inhale, exhale, hold for as long as we can. And upon At the end of your hold, what's going to happen is that you're going to take a deep breath in, you're going to hold for 15 seconds, and then you're going to let it go. So let me demonstrate, and then we'll do it together. I'm going to do five breaths, and I'm going to do the hold, and I'm going to show you how to do the last inhale, okay? So fully in, hold. When I feel the need to take a deep breath in, I take a nice full breath in, hold for 15 counts, and then let it go. Okay? I just did 5. We're going to do 35 together, and we're going to do 3 rounds of this breath. Okay? Again, do this at your comfort. Okay? If this feels uncomfortable to you, please stop what you're doing and just follow us with the video. Okay? But I also invite you to fully experience this technique so that you could have fun, so that you could really identify with yourself, so that you can find how your body feels in the environment that you are in at this time. Okay, so that's my invitation. Again, it is normal to feel a little pressure in the head, or maybe a little lightheaded, tingly sensations on your hands and feet, maybe even muscle twitches. That is perfectly fine and acceptable. And it is, according to Wim Hof, it is highly suggested that you try to intensify that experience. But I want everybody to have fun with this and take it with ease. Okay? So I invite everybody to place your feet on the floor in front of you. Find a seated position. If you want to do this laying down, you're more than welcome to. Okay? And let's go ahead and dive right in. I'll do the 35 breaths. When I get to the 30th breath, I'll throw my hand up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll do that last full breath in, let it go, and hold for as long as we can. And if you need to get that gasp of air after the hold, before I do, feel free to do so, and then just wait until we start the second round together. Sound good? We're good? We're golden? All right, let's begin. So, fully in, let it go. Fully in, let it go. Fully in, let it go. Full breath in. Let it go and hold. Feel your body's fully response. Feel your body, feel how your body feels right here, right now. All right. That was round one. Okay. So now you know how your body is feeling with this first round that we did. You know how the sequence goes 35 breaths. On the 35th breath, fully in, let it go, hold for as long as you can with no air in your lungs. And when you feel the need to gasp for air, take a full breath in, hold for 15 counts, and let it go. That's going to be our second round. Okay, let's dive right in. Fully in, let it go. Fully in, let it go. Fully in, fully in, let it go, and hold for as long as you can. You don't need to do 3 rounds today. Do as many rounds as you need to. Hold this round, hold this breath for as long as you can. When you feel the gasp of air, you take a full breath in, you hold for 50 counts, and you let go. You guys are doing great. You could drink water in between rounds for sure. That was round 2. You guys are doing great. Fantastic job. All right. Now you should start feeling the tingles more intensified, maybe a little bit of lightheadedness. It is normal to get tetany of the muscles. So your muscles are going to tighten. Okay. Notice my jaw is a little bit tight right now. Okay. That's perfectly normal. Okay. This next round, this last round, I invite you to intensify your experience. Okay. Again, to your level of comfort, but intensify the experience. Make the tingly sensations more. Make the lightheadedness more. Make whatever you're experiencing, make it more so that you can attain this euphoric experience, this euphoric state. Okay? After this last round, I'll talk a little bit more. Okay? Drink as much water as you need. Take breaks if you need. We're going to jump right in. Third round. Fully in. Let it go. Fully in. Let it go. Last breath. Fully in. Let it go. Hold for as long as you can. Feel the euphoric sensation. Feel that sense of highness. You are getting high on oxygen. This is a good thing. Enjoy the experience. Be here, be present, be now. Feel what your body is feeling, is experiencing. You are making your body fully alkaline. You are breathing correctly for the first time in your life. Enjoy every sensation. And when you feel the need to gasp for air, take a full breath in and hold for 15 counts and let go. You guys are doing great. Dizzy is normal. Dizzy is normal. Do not be afraid of the dizzy. All right, just sit down, have a little bit of water. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. All right, you guys did awesome. All right, how do you feel? Everybody doing okay? We good? All right, awesome. So what I want you to do right now is just take a minute or two, still tap into yourselves. All right, how does your body feel? How does your body feel right here, right now? Besides the little tingly sensations and activation, right? How do you feel? Do you feel at ease? Do you feel a little off? Or are you in a state of alignment? Are you comfortable? Are you at ease? Within that stress that we have just given our body through this breath, it's funny how we have a natural response of appropriate adaptation, and we find a sense of calmness. Notice how your body feels activated, but your mind is calm. It's a great, that's the yin yang right there, right? It's a great balance between intense internal activity, yet also an internal calmness. The method, the Wim Hof method, is always done in 3 rounds, just like we just did. Okay? It is said that 30 breaths is enough to do. I sometimes do up to 60 breaths for one hold. I invite you to play around with it. I invite you to go online and do a little more research, or go on YouTube and just listen to Wim Hof. He's a crazy guy. He's fantastic. He's loud and obnoxious, and I love him. But he will explain to you a little bit more in detail what I was not able to share with you today. But at least if what I said prior to the breath was scattered or didn't resonate with you, I'm hoping that your experience of the method has invited you to explore a little bit more this feeling. This feeling is balancing of hormones as well. So natural dopamine rises, serotonin rises. Everything becomes in balance. That's why you have this euphoric sensation, in internal sensation. It's like you have fireworks going in going off in your body, but yet you're still calm. It's a wonderful sensation. And if you do this every day, just the breath, we didn't even tackle the cold exposure, right? Just by applying the breath to your daily routine, you can uh, balance out your psychoneuroendoimmunology, so your main biological systems, but you can also increase your immune system tenfold. When you are symptomatic of a cold or flu, or you have runny nose or sore throat, do this round, do this method, use this method to your advantage. The one advantage, the one great thing about this method is that oxygen is free, and we can use it to combat disease. And not only that, we can use it to maintain our optimal health and wellness. Okay? So, in this breath, as mentioned before, let me recap real quick. You're working your vascular system specifically. You're bombarding every single cell in your body with oxygen. You're literally getting high on oxygen. All right? It's a good thing. It's allowed. All right? But in the bombardment of oxygen, you're ridding yourself of carbon dioxide and allowing your body to become uh, uh, a state of alkaline and reduce its acid buildup. And in that alkalinic state, uh, there is no room for inflammation or inflammatory response because you are adapting to your surroundings. So the more you use uh, this breathing technique, if you decide to use it on your daily regime, play around with the cold. You know, Wim Hof says that if you do this breath and every time you shower, you end your shower with 30 seconds of just pure cold water, that also works your vascular system. And that sends all of that oxygen that you have built up in your system to every aspect of your body. And you are training your mind to be at ease through that extreme stress of cold and bombardment of oxygen. So use it, enjoy it. That's what I wanted to bring to the table today is a method that we are all able to do. It's a method that has immense amounts of benefits, and there is science to that demonstrates that backs it up, and essentially the two main ingredients to a state of well-being. Those of you that know me, um, when I have my doctor's hat on, is that I use water as a medicinal. I use water as medicine because water is the first medicine. It will be the last. It is what gave us life upon this planet. So my two main medicines for optimal wellness is oxygen and water. All right. I have one question here. What is the optimum time of the day to do the breath? Can it be done more than once daily? You can do it as many times as you want. I now do it three to four times a day. I always start my morning with the breath because it activates my cells. I feel my cells vibrating. It wakes them up. Okay, it's what Wim Hof describes as the inner fire, right? That inner fire gets you excited to tackle the day ahead. Okay, and I also do it at nighttime because in that activation, I find a nice state of calmness that gives me access to adequate sleep. Should I avoid doing it before bedtime? I do it multiple times over during the day, but at least if you can incorporate it once a day, I would highly recommend it. Okay. Thank you, everybody. It is 7:59. The hour went by quickly. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties. I hope you enjoyed this method. I hope it is beneficial to you, and you know, take it home with you. Use it. Tell your friends, and we'll see you all next month on fourth Tuesday of October. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Hey, second here.
Yeah, and if you want to end the recording too.
Yep. Thank you. Start recording.